It's been a while since you guys have played any ball. How have you spent the last few weeks trying to keep things afloat and rolling?
Well, game planning. I mean, we didn't play obviously the past week versus UTEP, but we had already gone through our game plan, and by the time we knew that we weren't playing that game, we kind of put that game plan to rest, understanding that we're going to try to make that up here at the end of the season. Then gave us an opportunity on on Thursday to get a little bit ahead on Law Tech. And at least be able to introduce some things on Friday, and then come back Sunday with meetings and walkthroughs. So I guess it put us a little bit ahead, but it is what it is. Just continuing to work and make sure our guys are getting the amount of work they need on each opponent, and just trying to do the best we can of getting ready to play.
And you guys had a kind of a big spike in cases in coronavirus across the entire athletic department this week. How confident are you guys that you guys will be able to get this game in?
Well, I mean, you're never guaranteed anything, right? That's where we're at. It's kind of where we're at this season, and so just doing the best we can of making sure that as coaching staff, as players, and everybody, that we're doing all the necessary things to make sure we're healthy and that we can control what we can control, and that's making sure we're wearing masks, social distancing, making sure we're cleaning, staying hygiene's good, and that's what we've been doing, and again, I think it's kind of peaked a little bit of everywhere, and so that's just it's just how it is. We're working as hard as we can to make sure everybody's safe, but you just control what you can control right now, Brett.
Was it disappointing not to be able to play that UTEP game with both sides? I mean, being healthy and no real cases either way, just to have it kind of come down to.
Yeah, that's disappointing anytime you don't get to play. Again, this is what we're all excited to do this fall, is have the opportunities to go out there and compete. And we knew it'd be a situation to where what you got was what you got, and it's all bonus right now. And so. It's disappointing, and I do believe that we'll find times to where we can get that made up, and so having that opportunity to play, it'll come. But again, right now, just trying to focus in on each day, one day at a time, and moving forward to this weekend, and looking forward to playing La Tech.
What have you seen from La Tech, just in your scouting and your evaluation of them on both sides of the ball?
Well, I think defensively, they're athletic up front. I think they had 2 6-picks that scored 14 points on defense the other day, so they're getting turnovers. And they got athletic guys out there. Offensively, I think their quarterback's getting much more comfortable within the system. Trying to break in a new quarterback, they definitely have great skill. Some receivers that are very explosive, and some running backs. And I think they've, a little bit early on, I think they had some missing pieces up front just due to some of the injuries or maybe, some different things with COVID. But, I think they're kind of bounced back to where they're getting their guys back in place, and Skip does a great job.
And they're replacing, obviously, Robertson and Snead on the outside. How have you seen that secondary be effective, and just how are they kind of replacing them?
Yeah, they're athletic. Don't have as much experience, but they're very athletic in the back end. They still have, they have some young guys that can really play, and you can tell they're going to be really special players in the future. And back in the safety position, you still have guys that'll come down and hit. And so, they're doing a great job, and they lost some great players, but. Obviously, they've done a really good job with recruiting and making sure that when one guy goes down or out, other guys step in and make plays for him.
You worry about being rusty a little bit after being off for so long?
No, that's not something I'm focused on. I know just trying to stay as much ahead in practice, and we try to get a lot more good on good, especially with some of our numbers, some of the scout teams we don't have, and so. We're getting good positive work against each other, so you're seeing the speed of the game is not dropping off, having to service each other, and so I'm not so much worried about the rust. It's still going out there and playing ball.
And Louisiana Tech's coming off of a big win against UAB. Just that game specifically, what did they show you really that you have to prepare for?
Their grit and determination. I think they're a gritty team. You know, you look at UAB, they're down a couple touchdowns there. You look back at Southern Miss. I think they were down quite a few there in the second half as well. And they continue to grind and you know, just stay patient and continue to find different ways to make plays. And I think they're a very tough football team. I think they're mentally tough. You know, they're not really focused in on the scoreboard. You can tell that. And just keep making plays, and they're finding a way to win. So again, they're doing a great job. They got great players, and it'll be a great matchup for us.
We're playing two quarterbacks. I mean, they've got Luke Anthony, who you guys saw when you played ACU, but they've also got Aaron Allen playing back there. How do you prepare for a team that you don't really know what you're going to see back there, quarterback?
Well, just understanding what their strengths and weaknesses are, and that's, you know, every week. But you know, they're a little different, obviously, and you know, you're going to have to be prepared to play some quarterback run game with one, and you know, and really with both. But one's a little bit more athletic in space, and you know, it's very similar to our guys. Both of them have the tools to do what you want to do. It's not like you're having to change much once one comes in, the other goes out, and so it's kind of a similar situation with us. So I don't know, it's how much more you got to prepare as much as just understand what each you know, player's strengths and weaknesses are as they get in.
If you guys feel like you're going to be pretty healthy this week, you still think Attaway is going to be back?
Yes.
And Shorter, Jair, out?
Yes.
Or
Now, you know, Bean's coming off such a good game the last time you guys played. You've had some time off. Did that allow you guys to maybe work with him a little more, or maybe implement some more things into your offense that fit his skill set?
I think it allowed all of our guys to work harder and making sure that we're trying to stay ahead and stay ahead of our self-scout and get the work in we need. I think this past game brought him a lot of confidence. He's, you know, I think he's put some really good weeks together in practice. You know, I think that's carried over, and you know, I'm excited about where he's at. I think Austin, same. You know, he's had a really good couple weeks of practices, and that's what it is for quarterbacks, just putting days together. The more days you put together, the more confidence you build, and the better you're going to be. So, you know, it's given us an opportunity to continue to work.
You guys played a whole lot better defensively in the second half of your last game. Do you feel like you guys maybe found something there?
I hope so. Yeah, I think so. You know, I think that, again, it's just whether with a team or a certain phase in the game, you know, the better you play, the more confidence you get, the more kind of chemistry you start building together, and figuring out, you know, what you're good at and, you know, what your strengths and weaknesses are. You know, defensively, Clint's had a rough time with we've had a lot of guys out defensively, and I think this past week against Middle was really the first week to where we had, you know, the guys in there that, you know, we could get ready to play a game in a week, not in a day. And so when you're always juggling, trying to find different pieces of the puzzle when different guys are out, it's challenging, especially when it's a new system and you haven't had an opportunity to go through the spring ball and do some different things like that. And so defensively got hit harder early. And again, I just think that shows you when we're healthy, we can find different ways to put our guys in position to be successful. You know, when it's a carousel, when it's all moving parts within the entire week, it's very challenging, especially when you're getting matched up against good teams.
You have a better handle on what your guys can do after that game. You know, you got the Murphy twins in there and did some different things. Do you feel better about knowing where your strengths are?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I think they brought a big spark. There's no doubt, and I thought the energy was great. I think it just proved to our team that the more energy and excitement and, you know, guys making plays, the momentum carries, you know, over through each, you know, each set you go out there and play, and the more plays you make, the more momentum you get throughout a game, the more adversity hits for the other side of the ball, and the harder it gets to for them to overcome it. And so, you know, I think it was a good start, and I think it'll build momentum. It's been great for our practices. They've been very enthusiastic, and again, I think hopefully that's a big step not only for our team this past week to continue to build momentum, but also, for our defense.
Do they give you a little athleticism there when they're both out there?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job rushing the passer. I thought it was a good game, a good fit for them with what they were trying to do. And I thought we got pressure on the quarterback, which is important. The more pressure you get on him, the quicker he's going to throw it to you instead of them. And so, again, I thought they brought a big spark.
Coach, do you feel like it's a sort of a good problem that you have, knowing that this late in the year you have two quarterbacks that can help you win?
It's not a bad problem. Again, it's not a bad problem at all. I've said it. You're gonna. I felt like we were gonna have to have both those guys in order to help us win football games this season, and it's come true. Just because all the different things going on. One, two, just the inexperience, that they've had. They're gonna have ups and downs, and they're gonna have adversity that as a inexperienced player, you're gonna have to fight through. And sometimes it's just good to come over to the sideline for a couple series and kind of see it from there in order to kind of get back out there and relax and make plays. And so we're blessed to have both those guys. I think they're working extremely hard. They're great teammates. They root for each other. The room's been great. Casey Martin's another one who has a guy that, sits in meetings every day and he's always great for those guys to come back, and he's always into the game. He can kind of tell those guys what he's seeing as well. And so it's a whole group, and I think they work well together. We're continuing to grow and get better, and that's what this year is all about with those guys.
When you're putting in a new system defensively, does it just take some time to maybe adjust with a new coordinator?
Well, it's no different offensively or defensively. It's figuring out what you have, what their strengths, weaknesses are, how to get them in the right positions. And again, I think when you go through, the fire of spring ball, you're able to do some different things and try to get the guys in the right, positions to help you be successful and to help them be successful. But again, not only the spring ball, it's just we got hit hard early defensively. With a ton of guys being out. I mean, there's one week to where we had a coach out, and every single guy in the linebacker room got put on quarantine. Luckily, we had, I think it was two guys that had just gotten back that weren't in that. A couple walk-on guys that were more on the scout team side of things. We had to move running backs over. We had some safeties that went down early, so it's not like you can just move them from safety to linebacker or so it was challenging. I mean, there's no doubt. And again, I know Clint's a great coach. He does a great job of figuring out what he's able to do, in those weeks, and let your guys go out there and do the best they can. But again, I think we're getting back to where we're healthier, and I think if we just get some of that continuity, some of that chemistry together, just having weeks of practices to where it's not 1 or 2 days, it's a full week. I mean, that's what's important. And I think the more we're able to do that, the better we'll get.
So you're getting a little closer to that point where you feel good about knowing what you've got and having the pieces fit together?
Yes, I feel better about it.
Go ahead.
What has the offensive line done better this year than maybe in years past, as far as whether it's protecting the quarterback or in the mobile?
Well, I think one of the first things, protecting the quarterback. We've had times in the past where we've run the ball well, but just quarterbacks getting shots on the quarterback has been brutal. And so the protection side of things is key. And, they haven't been hit much. And, obviously our sack numbers are down, and Coach Blesh is doing an unbelievable job of that group. And I think some of that's just we're growing up in some spots, but I think we're playing more physical and just doing a better overall job of in the run game and the pass game. So I think you have to give Coach Blesh a lot of credit for that.
John Davis has come on for you guys here a little bit, the transfer from Texas Tech. What have you seen from him?
He's long, athletic, and he can run, and that's a perfect example of, I think he's getting put in the right situation as well, earlier on because of some of the things that we had going on. He's having to flip-flop between corner and safety, and that's not ideal. you know, they're different with how we play them. And so I think he's at a spot he's a little more comfortable. I think it's more of a natural position, and you can tell his athleticism. He can go out there and make plays. He's just, again, getting the reps at that position over and over throughout a week is important. But, you know, when guys are going down, you're having to shuffle different guys around. They're having to learn different positions and different things. It gets challenging, especially when you're just coming into a new system yourself.
Does he give you some size there that maybe he gives you a little something different at cornerback? I think he's, what, 6'1" or something?
Yeah, and he's long. You know, he has long arms, and you know, I think so, absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get those guys like that can run and get their hands on you and play aggressive, it's key. So, you know, every player comes in different shapes, sizes, and have different tools, and but you know, he's starting to utilize his. Again, I think he's getting more comfortable, and you can really see his athleticism out there on the perimeter.
I anticipate Louisiana Tech's going to have a ton of momentum coming into this game after they won that game against UAB in such dramatic fashion.
Yeah, it's a great win for them. You know, again, UAB is a great team, and you know, to continue to compete and to finding a way to win, it's going to build that momentum for them. And again, I know we're playing a great team, and they're coming in there hungry, and they want to do the same thing that we want to do: is continue the momentum, continue to stack wins on top of each other, and you know, finish strong. And there's no doubt in my mind they're going to fight hard for 4 quarters. And you know, I look forward to our team fighting. It's going to be a great game, and it's always an exciting matchup. That's what you want to do. You want to play against great competition, and they're a great team.
You guys gave, you know, and the NCAA gave everybody election day off. Last week it sounded like you guys were pretty excited about it. Was that the case? Did that follow all the way through where guys were excited to go and vote and participate in the process?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. You know, again, I think it's important for everybody has an opportunity for your voice to be heard on this day, and I think it's a huge day for our country. And you know, I think it's great for our players to be able to go out there and vote and have this day to really, you know, be a part of it. I mean, I think it's huge. And not only that, just throughout the process of just making sure that, you know, everybody understands why their vote's so important, why their voice is so important. And, you know, that's our job as mentors and as coaches. We're still educators and we're still mentors. And, you know, we want to make sure that they understand that this is an important day. And I think it's great what the NCAA did. I mean, it didn't change much. The only difference was we practiced Monday instead of Tuesday. So today they're off, and we'll bounce back tomorrow and get right back on schedule. So it's not like it took a lot away from us anyway. I wouldn't see how it could around the rest of the country. I mean, so I think it's a great thing.
And one last thing, you mentioned all the you guys had on the defensive side of the ball. Have you been really pleased with the way Clint has handled that over there, having so many guys in and out and things that?
Well, I can tell you I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I can tell you as an offensive coordinator, when you're playing the carousel game and guys are in and guys are out, and you're trying to find what you can do that week offensively, what plays you can call, what you can't do, how you're going to try to protect different guys if, you know, maybe it's their first time getting out there and playing. And so, yeah, it's challenging, and I think he's done a great job of handling. His attitude's been unbelievable. He stayed positive, and it's been challenging. But I'm fired up about Clint and the whole defensive staff. I think they've worked well through everything, and hopefully, again, we can continue to have guys in, building that continuity. We can just continue to grow and get better each and every week. That's what you're looking for, just growth.